Riley Maddox had grown up hearing engines before she learned to walk. Her lullabies were the rumbling Harley-Davidsons of the Iron Serpents, the most feared motorcycle club in the entire Pacific Northwest. Her father, Grant Grizzly Maddox, wasn't just the club president, he was a legend. A man whose silence was heavier than thunder, whose stare made grown men confess sins they hadn't even committed. But to Riley, he was just dad, and she was his world. At 23, she was the only softness in his hard life. A college graduate, self-taught mechanic, and wild-hearted girl with a smile that calms storms. Her father tried to keep her away from the dark edges of club life, but trouble doesn't always knock. Sometimes it hunts. And trouble had a name: Evan Corteza, rising drug lord, vicious, unpredictable, and obsessed with one thing. Colin Riley.Evan had seen her only once, when she had gone to deliver tools at the club's garage. That single moment had sparked something dangerous inside him, a hunger to possess what he couldn't have. What Grizzly Maddox had. Evan waited, watched, plotted, in one cold September night. As Riley drove home from a volunteer shift at the community shelter, his black SUV slid up behind her. She never saw the needle, never heard the men, never stood a chance. By the time Grizzly received the call, Riley was already gone. The Iron Serpents clubhouse was silent, not from fear, but rage. Grizzly stood at the center, fists clenched, eyes colder than winter steel. The members watched him. Men with tattoos of rattlesnakes, scars like road maps, and loyalty deeper than blood. A phone buzzed. A video message. Grizzly pressed play. There she was, really tied to a chair, bruised but alive. Behind her stood Evan Cortez, smiling like the devil had taught him. "Maddox," Evan said, voice smooth and venomous, "you took my territory last year. So I'm taking something of yours. You want your princess back? Bring me the docs. Midnight. Alone." Evan walked behind Riley and lifted her chin. "And if you're late..." She disappears. The video cut? No one breathed. Grizzly's jaw twitched. The entire room felt the shift inside him. Something breaking. Something ancient waking. "Docs are club property," growled Tank, the 6'6" Sergeant Totterms. "We can't just..." "We're not giving him a damn inch," interrupted Ghost, the vice president. "He wants a war? We'll bring hell." But Grizzly raised his hand. "No club votes," he said, voice cutting like a blade. "This is my daughter." Silence again. Then he continued. "We ride at 11. All of us, full force. No mercy." The club exploded into motion. Leather vests were thrown on. Guns checked. Knives sharpened. Engines started growling, snarling, promising violence. The town would remember this night, and Evan Cortez would regret ever being born. Riley woke to the smell of gasoline and mold. Her wrists were tied, ankles shackled, head throbbing. Evan sat across from her, spinning a butterfly knife between his fingers. "You know why you're here?" he asked softly. "You're insane." She spat. He chuckled. "No, I'm ambitious. And you're leverage." He leaned closer, brushing a finger across her cheek. She jerked away. "I'm going to own your father," he whispered. "And once I break him, maybe I'll keep you." Riley's stomach twisted. But fear wasn't all she felt. Something else sparked in her chest. Rage. A fire she inherited from Grizzly Maddox himself. When Evan walked out to take a call, Riley scanned the room. A broken chair leg. A rusty nail sticking out of a plank. The frayed rope cutting. Into her skin, she pulled, twisted, ignored the pain. Minutes of struggle. The rope finally snapped. She was free, sort of. Her ankles were still bound. But she had something now: hope and a weapon. Riley grabbed the broken chair leg and hid just behind the door. If Evan came back, she would fight. 11 o'clock struck. Thunder rolled. Not from the sky. From engines, 30 Harley-Davidsons roared in formation down the highway. Leather jackets snapping in the wind. headlights slicing through darkness like an army of burning ghosts. At the front, Grizzly Maddox. Face unmasked, fury unleashed. He didn't speak. Didn't need to. The serpents rode like a storm. GPS pinged Grizzly's phone. Hidden in her boot had been quietly tracked by the club's tech expert. Sparks. They knew where she was, and Evan didn't know they knew. Evan entered the warehouse again. Frustration twisting his features. Grizzly's not answering, he muttered. He must be scared. As he stepped inside, Riley moved. Silent. Precise. Furious. The wood cracked against his skull. Evan roared. Stumbling. Riley hit him again. Again. He lunged, grabbing her hair, slamming her against the wall. You little bam. The warehouse door slammed open. Evan froze. Riley's heart stopped. Then she smiled. Because there, filling the doorway, stood 30 men in black leather, weapons drawn, eyes burning. The Iron Serpents. And at the front her father. Grizzly Maddox walked forward, slow as death. "Get your hands off my daughter," he said. Evan shoved Riley aside and grabbed his pistol. "Step back, old man." Grizzly didn't step back. He stepped forward. A single gunshot echoed, but it wasn't from Evan's hand. Ghost fired first. A perfect shot through Evan's shoulder. Evan screamed. Dropping the gun, chaos erupted. Evan's men flooded the floor armed, panicked, desperate. But the Serpents were built for battle. Tank bulldozed through 2 guards, slamming them into crates. Sparks tossed a flashbang, blinding the enemy. Ghost moved like a shadow, swift and lethal. Grizzly didn't join the fight. He only had one mission. Riley. He shouted, "I'm here." She yelled, staggering toward him. A guard grabbed her from behind, but before she could scream, Grizzly was there. A knife flashed. The guard fell. Grizzly pulled Riley into his arms. She felt his chest shaking, not from fear, but from the unbearable thought of losing her. "You're safe now," he whispered. But Evan Cortez was not done. Bleeding. Enraged. He crawled toward his fallen gun. Grizzly turned too late to reach him. Riley reacted first. She kicked the gun away, then slammed her knee into Evan's jaw. He fell back, dazed. Grizzly stared at her. "That's my girl," he growled proudly. Then he stepped on Evan's chest, pinning him like an insect. "You dared touch my daughter," Grizzly said softly, deadly softly. "You kidnapped her, threatened her, hurt her." Evan trembled, blood dripping down his chin. "Please don't, you messed with the wrong family." Grizzly didn't shoot him. He didn't need to. He nodded to Ghost and Tank. "Take him to the police," Grizzly ordered. "Let him live his life behind bars, wishing I had killed him." The fight was over, and the Serpents had won. Outside, the sun was rising. Riley leaned against her father's bike, wrapped in his jacket. Her body hurt, but her spirit unbroken. "You saved yourself," Grizzly said, leaning beside her. "I'm proud of you." Riley smiled weakly. "Guess I get it from you," he chuckled. "You gave me a heart attack, kiddo." She rested her head on his shoulder. "Dad?" "Yeah." "Don't ever leave me out of the fight again." He stared at her, surprised. Then he laughed loud, full. "Genuine, you're definitely mine." The Serpents cheered behind them, celebrating victory. But Grizzly only cared about one thing: his daughter, safe, alive, and stronger than ever. 2 weeks later. Riley walked into the Serpents' garage wearing a fresh vest. Across the back, Iron Serpents honorary member Ethius, the men erupted in applause. Tank whistled. "Welcome to the family officially," Riley smirked. "I've always been part of it." Grizzly put an arm around her. "No," he said. "Now you're part of the fight." And somewhere out there, behind bars, Evan Cortez felt a cold shiver down his spine. Because the Serpents never forget, never forgive, never lose. And Riley Maddox, the girl he tried to break, had just become their fiercest weapon.